A teenage Shaq was in San Antonio dreaming of being the next great big man. He idolized David Robinson, he wanted to be just like the Admiral. And then one day, he finally got the chance to meet his hero. Shaq walked up to Robinson asking for an autograph, but Robinson refused. Shaq was crushed. The man he looked up to had turned him away. From that moment on, he swore he'd destroy him. He swore he'd take everything from him. Every time he stepped on the court, he remembered that day. But was that actually true? April 24, 1994, the final game of the regular season. Shaquille O'Neal was about to make history. He led the NBA in scoring. He dominated every big man in his path. He was set to become the youngest scoring champion ever. The Orlando Magic had already played that night. Shaq sealed his claim with 32 points and 22 rebounds. The title was his. Until it wasn't. Because across the country, David Robinson had other plans. The San Antonio Spurs had one goal that night: feed the Admiral every single play. And when the final buzzer sounded, 71 points, David Robinson, your 1994 NBA scoring champion, 29.8 points per game to Shaq's 29.3. But was it actually rigged? To understand how one of the NBA's greatest rivalries was built, how a fake story fueled one of the most dominant forces the NBA has ever seen, we have to go back to the beginning. Shaquille O'Neal was the biggest high school star in the city. Newspapers covered his every move. Local fans knew his name. He was the next great big man. And then, on 1987, the San Antonio Spurs draft David Robinson, a 7'1" Navy officer, a national hero, a future Hall of Famer. Instantly becomes the face of the franchise. Suddenly, Shaq was no longer the talk of San Antonio.
I was a big man on campus in San Antonio, and then the Spurs, they draft him, and he steals all my shot.
At just 17 years old, Shaq watched as his city forgot about him overnight. That memory, it never left him. As Shaq entered the NBA, he had one problem. David Robinson was too nice. Unlike other rivals, Robinson didn't trash talk. He didn't play dirty. He didn't give Shaq a reason to hate him. Shaq respected him. He loved Robinson. And for Shaq, that was a problem. He couldn't dominate someone he admired. He couldn't destroy a guy who had no beef with him. So what did he do? He made one up. Shaq lied to himself and to the world, claiming that as a kid, he once asked Robinson for an autograph.
So I meet him, we have a conversation, he signs my autograph. First time we play as the Spurs, he kills me. And my father rips me a new one. Oh, you showing him too much respect. I don't care if that's David Robinson, you Shaq O'Neal, you need to dominate. You need to go home and think about what you need to do. So I was like, you know what? He didn't give me this autograph when I was 15 years old. That pisses me off. So like from that point on, when I said that to myself, that he didn't give me he stiffed me for an autograph as a youngster, I wanted to pay him back. That was my way of competing with David Robinson.
And by the time he admitted it was fake, it was too late. The rivalry was already real, the grudge was already fueling his dominance, and Robinson, he never even knew it existed. April 24, 1994, the final game of the regular season. Shaq is leading the NBA in scoring. He's about to win his first ever scoring title. 32 points, 22 rebounds, a dominant performance. The Orlando Magic had finished their game. The scoring title was his. Or so he thought. Because across the country, David Robinson was about to pull off one of the most controversial performances in NBA history. The game plan, simple. Feed David Robinson every single trip down the floor. And from the very first possession, Robinson dominated. The first 18 points, all Admiral. Every time he touched the ball, he scored. Post moves, mid-range shots, dunks, whatever he wanted. The Clippers, they weren't stopping him. But maybe they weren't even trying. Because behind the scenes, something suspicious was happening. The Spurs are up big, the game is over. But instead of taking Robinson out, they keep feeding him the ball. The Clippers' defense, nowhere to be found. By the fourth quarter, Robinson had already set a new career high. But the Spurs didn't let up. They needed to make sure he got the title. Final numbers: 71 points, 14 rebounds, 26 from 41 from the field. David Robinson was the NBA's new scoring champion. But was it real? Dominique Wilkins, who played for the Clippers at the time, later revealed what really went down.
I mean, actually, our coach came along and he said, "You guys don't be upset, but I've been told to take y'all out after the first 5 minutes of the game because Sterling wanted to see David Robinson keep the scoring title in the West because he didn't want Shaquille O'Neal to get the scoring title. He took us out, and if you go back and watch that game, we didn't play after that."
Even Shaq himself later reacted to the revelation.
Should I sue?
Well, on what grounds?
Hell yeah.
Point shaving, tampering. I wonder if David Robinson was in on this. Because I watched the game after. I was pissed when I got home.
But was it really a conspiracy? Or did Robinson just take advantage of a perfect situation?
Never thought about a lot of personal stuff. I mean, to me, it just comes along with winning. You know, if you win the games and everything comes along, but I mean, I don't know where to really rank this right now. I just got to sit around and kind of let it settle in. I mean, I looked up at the scoreboard, it said 71. I said, 71? I said, oh my goodness.
Regardless of how it happened, David Robinson won the scoring title. Shaq finished second, and he never forgot. For decades, people question it. Did the league rig it against Shaq?
Why do you think David Stern wanted to do that?
Because you don't want a young, unorthodox guy coming in. Because remember, me, I play the line, but I go over the line. I've always done it my way.
A year after losing the scoring title in the most controversial way imaginable, Shaquille O'Neal had a new target, the MVP. This time, he wasn't letting David Robinson take something from him again. But Robinson, he had other plans. The numbers: David Robinson, 27.6 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, 3.2 blocks. Two-way dominance, leadership, the perfect superstar. Shaquille O'Neal, 29.3 points, 11.4 rebounds, 2.4 blocks, the most unstoppable force in the league. The announcement:
David Robinson, 1995 NBA MVP.
Shaq furious. So how did Shaq, the league's leading scorer and most feared presence, lose the MVP to Robinson? Robinson was the polished leader, the defensive anchor, the safe choice. Shaq, explosive, loud, unstoppable, but still raw. Shaq and Robinson faced off multiple times in the playoffs. In 1999, Robinson and Tim Duncan dominated Shaq, ending his season in the Western Conference semifinals. But by 2001, the rivalry flipped. Shaq's prime Lakers humiliated Robinson's Spurs, sweeping them in the Western Conference Finals. And in 2003, Robinson got the last laugh in his final season, eliminating the three-time defending champion Lakers on the way to his second NBA title. By then, the rivalry was over. Shaq was an all-time great, Robinson was walking away as a two-time champion, and the feud, it never really existed in the first place. Years later, as both players retired, Shaq finally came clean.
A lot of people ask me, did I hate him? No, I just had to create stories in my head to make me hate him. Like, I finally told a story about him Not giving me autograph, that wasn't true.
He only created the feud because he needed to. He needed anger to fuel his game, he needed to believe Robinson was his enemy, and in reality, Shaq loved and respected Robinson more than any other big man.
Like last year at the All-Star game, and I pulled him to the side, I was like, David, I apologize. I made up this bogus story that you never gave me an autograph, but that wasn't true. He was like, Shaq, I know you, Shaq, you're just a jokester.
Even Robinson admitted.
He was lying.
Yeah, he said he was lying. How strange is that to make up that story?
Well, you know Shaq. I mean, he's a showman. He likes to make, and he's really good at it. He's entertaining. That's what people love about him, right? And so he was making it entertaining. And for me, I'm not a big, trash talker, so I didn't really get into the back and forth. So yeah, I mean, it's part of Shaq and part of him making the game interesting and fun, and it made us have some great battles, which I love.
And with that, the fake rivalry finally ended. Shaquille O'Neal versus David Robinson was never supposed to be a rivalry, but Shaq needed it to be one. He created it, he believed it, and in doing so, he made it real. The result? Some of the most legendary big man battles in NBA history. Shaq's dominance fueled by pure fiction, a grudge that only existed in Shaq's mind, but shaped the future of the NBA. So the question is, did Shaq need this feud to become an all-time great, or did he rob Robinson of the respect he deserved? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more legendary NBA stories. Until next time, keep the game alive.